Hello, it's Delia again, and now we're on to part 3. Stephen smiled at her, feeling lightheaded and bursting with pride. He could scarcely contain the happiness he felt at that moment. But that was before his brother Damon had returned from the university, before Damon had come back and seen Catherine's jewel blue eyes. On his bed in the low-roofed room, Stephen moaned. Then the darkness drew him in deeper, and new images began to flicker through his mind. They were scattered glimpses of the past that did not form a connected sequence. He saw them like scenes briefly illuminated by flashes of lightning. His brother's face twisted into a mask of inhuman anger. Catherine's blue eyes sparkling and dancing as she pirouetted in her new white gown, the glimmer of white behind a lemon tree, the feel of a sword in his hand, Giuseppe's voice shouting from far away. The lemon tree. He must not go behind the lemon tree. He saw Damon's face again, but this time his brother was laughing wildly, laughing on and on. A sound like the grate of broken glass, and the lemon tree was closer now. Damon, Catherine, no! He was sitting bolt upright on his bed. He ran shaking hands through his hair and steadied his breath. A terrible dream. It had been a long time since he had been tortured by dreams like that. Long indeed, since he dreamed at all. The last few seconds played over and over again in his mind, and he saw again the lemon tree and heard again his brother's laughter. It echoed in his mind almost too clearly. Suddenly, without being aware of a conscious decision to move, Stephen found himself at the open window. The night air was cool on his cheeks as he looked into the silvery dark. Damon. He sent the thought out on a surge of power, questing. Then he fell into absolute stillness, listening with all his senses. He could feel nothing, no ripple of response. Nearby, a pair of night birds rose in flight. In the town, many minds were sleeping. In the woods, nocturnal animals went about their secret business. He sighed and turned back into the room.
6 casualties, unless you're counting the local civilians.
That's correct. Mr.
Salvatore.
Perhaps he'd been wrong about the laughter. Perhaps he'd even been wrong about the menace in the graveyard.
Except, of course, there were no civilian casualties in this battle.
Actually, there were 27, sir. Confederate soldiers, they fired on a church, believing it to be housing weapons. They were wrong. It's a night of great loss.
Fell's church was still and peaceful, and he should try to emulate it. He needed sleep.
Mr. Tanner.
And I will continue, and this will be chapter 4 coming up.